When people ignore you, whether it's a friend, a colleague, or someone you care deeply about, the temptation to chase can be overwhelming. But here's the truth: the more you run towards someone who isn't looking back, the more you abandon yourself. When you chase after someone who is ignoring you, whether it's in a relationship, a friendship, or any other connection, you unknowingly place your sense of value in their hands. Every time you reach out and are met with silence, every time you try harder and get no response, you internalize a dangerous message that you are not enough unless they acknowledge you. This pattern slowly chips away at your self-esteem. It sends a signal to your subconscious that their attention is more important than your own dignity, that their validation is the ultimate measure of your worth. But here's the reality: no one else has the power to define your value. Your worth is intrinsic. It's not something that should be bartered, negotiated, or handed over for someone else's approval. Chasing creates a cycle of dependency. The more you seek their attention, the more you depend on it to feel validated. And when that attention doesn't come, the self-doubt creeps in even more. You might start questioning yourself: what am I doing wrong? Why don't they see me? This questioning can spiral into overthinking, self-criticism, and even a sense of unworthiness. But let's flip the script. Imagine what happens when you stop chasing. That same energy, instead of being used to pull someone closer who doesn't want to be there, is redirected toward nurturing yourself. It's poured into the things that light you up, the people who celebrate you, and the goals that bring you joy. By stepping back, you reclaim your power. You send a clear message to yourself and to the world that your self-worth isn't tied to how others treat you. It's a declaration that you refuse to undervalue yourself just because someone else does. Remember, the people who truly matter will never need chasing. They will naturally see your worth and value your presence. It's not just about letting them go, it's about holding on to yourself. At the core of every healthy relationship is mutual effort, respect, and understanding. Whether it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, or even a professional bond, the balance of give and take is what keeps the connection strong. When one person is constantly giving while the other barely acknowledges their presence, the relationship becomes lopsided. This imbalance leads to frustration, exhaustion, and ultimately the erosion of trust and connection. Healthy relationships are partnerships. They thrive when both people invest time, energy, and care into each other. It's not about keeping score, but about feeling seen, valued, and supported. When someone ignores you or consistently fails to reciprocate your efforts, it reveals a lack of balance in the dynamic. Continuing to chase after their attention only widens the gap. It reinforces a narrative where one person's effort is undervalued while the other's lack of engagement is tolerated. Think about the relationships in your life that make you feel fulfilled. Chances are they're the ones where you feel equal. These are the connections where your presence is met with warmth and your contributions are acknowledged. These relationships make you feel safe and respected because the care flows both ways. In mutual relationships, you don't have to beg for attention or overextend yourself to be noticed. Instead, your value is recognized effortlessly, and the connection is sustained through shared effort. On the other hand, relationships that lack mutuality can leave you drained. You may find yourself constantly overthinking, wondering what you can do to make the other person respond or care. But here's the truth: in a healthy relationship, you never have to convince someone of your worth or your place in their life. When someone genuinely values you, their actions will reflect it without you having to chase or plead. Walking away from a one-sided relationship isn't about giving up, it's about honoring yourself. It's about acknowledging that you deserve more than crumbs when you're offering a feast. The right relationships will feel like a partnership, not a pursuit. By letting go of those who don't reciprocate, you create space for connections that are rooted in mutual respect and love. Healthy relationships are a two-way street. They require both people to show up, to listen, and to care. Anything less than that isn't worthy of your time or your heart. Silence often speaks louder than words. When someone ignores you or dismisses your presence, your instinct might be to react, to explain yourself, to confront them, or to demand their attention. But sometimes the most profound statement you can make is to say nothing at all. Silence isn't weakness, it's a deliberate choice. It's a way of reclaiming your power and asserting your boundaries without engaging in unnecessary drama. Silence communicates in ways words cannot. When you stop chasing and simply remain silent, you send a message: I respect myself enough not to beg for your attention. This act of restraint shifts the dynamic. Instead of giving your energy to someone who isn't reciprocating, you hold it within, preserving your dignity and self-respect. It's a reminder that not every situation requires a response and not every slight deserves your reaction. There's strength in silence because it forces reflection. When you don't respond, the other person is left to sit with their own behavior. They may question why you've withdrawn, or they may not notice at all, and that too is an answer. Silence exposes the truth about the relationship. If someone values you, your quietness will prompt them to reach out and restore the connection. If they don't, it reveals where you truly stand in their life. Silence is also a form of self-care. By choosing not to engage, you create space to focus on what truly matters: your peace, your growth, and your priorities. Engaging in unnecessary conversations or trying to force someone to care only drains your emotional energy. But when you remain silent, you protect your mental and emotional well-being, allowing yourself the clarity to move forward. It's important to note that silence isn't about passive aggression or avoiding important conversations. It's about discernment, knowing when speaking up serves a purpose and when it doesn't. Not every situation deserves your explanation or justification. And sometimes silence is the most powerful way to honor your boundaries and your worth. By staying silent, you also demonstrate emotional maturity. You show that you're not driven by impulsive reactions or the need to prove yourself to others. Instead, you prioritize your values and recognize that your time and energy are too precious to waste on someone who doesn't value them. Ultimately, silence is a declaration of self-respect. It's a way of saying, I will not fight for space in someone's life who isn't fighting for me. It reminds others and yourself that your worth isn't contingent on anyone else's acknowledgement. When used wisely, silence is not the absence of communication. It's a powerful statement of self-love. When someone ignores you, it's easy to pour your energy into trying to fix the situation. You might replay conversations in your mind, wonder what you did wrong, or spend hours trying to find the perfect way to get their attention. But here's the truth: chasing someone who is unavailable or uninterested is a misdirection of your precious energy. Instead of giving away your power, redirect that energy towards something that truly matters: yourself. Self-growth isn't just a consolation prize, it's the most transformative response you can choose. Every ounce of energy you spend chasing someone could be invested in becoming the best version of yourself. Think about it: the time you spend worrying about why someone isn't responding could be used to learn a new skill, pursue a passion, or strengthen your physical and mental well-being. Self-growth is not just about improving yourself for the sake of it. It's about recognizing your value and prioritizing your development over the pursuit of someone else's validation. When you redirect your energy, you shift the narrative. Instead of being someone who needs another person's attention to feel complete, you become someone who is thriving on their own terms. This shift is empowering. It allows you to reclaim control over your life and focus on what you can change yourself and your path. Redirecting energy to self-growth also brings clarity. The more you focus on yourself, the more you realize who and what deserves your time. As you grow and evolve, you naturally attract people who align with your values and your vision. These are the connections that uplift and inspire you, not the ones that leave you feeling drained and overlooked. Invest in your passions, what lights you up. Whether it's art, fitness, cooking, writing, or something else, dive deeply into activities that bring you joy. Passion projects not only keep you engaged, but also remind you of what makes you unique. Focus on personal development, read books, take courses, or set goals that challenge and excite you. This isn't just about acquiring skills, it's about proving to yourself that you are capable of growth and achievement. Cultivate inner peace, practice mindfulness, meditation, or journaling to connect with your thoughts and emotions. Learning to find peace within yourself makes you less dependent on others for emotional stability. Build your confidence work on your physical and mental health. Exercise, eat well, and take care of your appearance not for anyone else, but because it makes you feel good about yourself. Confidence radiates from those who invest in their well-being. Strengthen supportive relationships, redirect the energy you were giving to someone who ignored you toward people who genuinely care for you. Call a friend, spend time with family, or nurture relationships that are reciprocal and fulfilling. Set and pursue goals, think about the dreams you've put on hold. Use this time to take action toward those goals, whether it's advancing your career, saving for something meaningful, or working on a personal milestone. As you focus on your growth, you'll notice something incredible: the desire to chase others fades. You'll become so engrossed in your own journey that the approval of someone else feels far less significant. And as you grow, your sense of self-worth will flourish, not because someone else acknowledged you, but because you showed up for yourself. Redirecting your energy to self-growth isn't just a way to move on, it's a way to level up. It's about transforming a painful experience into an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more self-assured. When you choose self-growth, you don't just heal, you thrive. You become the kind of person who doesn't need to chase anyone because your life is already so full of purpose and joy. So when someone ignores you, resist the urge to chase them. Instead, turn inward. Focus on the one person who will always be there for you yourself. Grow, evolve, and shine so brightly that you no longer worry about who sees it, because you do. Boundaries are the foundation of self-respect. They define how others treat you, and more importantly, how you treat yourself. When someone ignores you or takes you for granted, it's easy to let frustration or sadness blur your sense of self-worth. But instead of reacting emotionally, setting clear boundaries is one of the most empowering steps you can take. Boundaries are not about controlling others, they're about taking control of your own life. When you set boundaries, you are making a powerful statement: I value myself enough to protect my energy, my time, and my emotions. It's not about building walls to shut people out, but about creating guidelines to ensure that the relationships in your life are healthy and respectful. If someone ignores you, it's an opportunity to reinforce those boundaries rather than chasing after their attention. Boundaries communicate your needs and expectations clearly. They let others know what you will and will not tolerate. For example, if someone frequently dismisses your calls or ignores your messages, a boundary might sound like: I value open and reciprocal communication in my relationships. If I'm consistently met with silence, I will step back from engaging further. This isn't about being harsh, it's about being honest and prioritizing your well-being. Once you've identified these, you can communicate them confidently. Keep in mind that boundaries are not ultimatums. They're expressions of your personal standards and a way to honor your emotional health. However, boundaries are only effective if they are upheld. If you set a boundary and someone repeatedly ignores or disrespects it, it's up to you to enforce the consequences. For example, if someone continues to dismiss your time or efforts despite your clear communication, you might choose to limit your interaction with them or even end the relationship altogether. This isn't about being punitive, it's about protecting your peace and ensuring that your energy is directed toward those who value and respect you. Boundaries also teach people how to treat you. When you stand firm in your limits, you send a clear message that you will not settle for less than mutual respect. Over time, this practice builds self-confidence and sets a standard for the types of relationships you attract. People who respect your boundaries are more likely to be those who align with your values and who genuinely care for you. Creating boundaries also fosters healthier relationships. They remove ambiguity, prevent resentment, and establish a framework for trust and understanding. When people know where you stand, they are less likely to cross your limits unintentionally. And for those who consistently test your boundaries, their behavior reveals their true level of respect for you. Boundaries are equally important for self-respect. Every time you uphold a boundary, you reinforce your worth to yourself. It's an act of self-care, a way of affirming that you deserve to be treated with dignity and kindness. Conversely, when you ignore your own boundaries, you risk sending a message to yourself and others that your feelings and needs are secondary. One of the challenges of setting boundaries is overcoming guilt. You may worry about offending others or being perceived as difficult. But remember, setting boundaries is not selfish, it's necessary. People who genuinely value you will respect your limits, and those who don't respect your boundaries are often those who benefited from you not having any. If someone ignores you, consider it an opportunity to evaluate the boundaries in your relationship. Ask yourself, am I giving more than I'm receiving? Am I compromising my self-respect to maintain this connection? If the answer is yes, it's time to step back and reinforce your limits. Boundaries are not just about saying no to others, they're about saying yes to yourself. They help you create space for the relationships and experiences that bring you joy, fulfillment, and peace. By setting clear boundaries, you take ownership of your life and ensure that you are surrounded by people who appreciate and respect you. So the next time you feel the urge to chase someone who is ignoring you, pause, reflect on your boundaries and how they align with your values. Remember, boundaries are not barriers, they're bridges to healthier, more respectful relationships. By setting and upholding them, you are honoring yourself and creating the life you deserve. One of the most liberating truths in life is this: the right people will never make you chase them. They won't force you to prove your worth, compete for their attention, or question your place in their lives. The right people, whether they are friends, romantic partners, or colleagues, see your value without you having to scream it from the rooftops. They reciprocate your energy, effort, and love because they recognize your worth. Chasing someone who consistently ignores or undervalues you isn't just exhausting, it's a disservice to yourself. Relationships that require you to constantly chase often lack the fundamental elements of respect, mutuality, and appreciation. When you chase, you place yourself in a one-sided dynamic where you're always striving while the other person stands still. This imbalance can erode your confidence and make you feel like you're not enough. The right people will never put you in that position. They won't leave you guessing about their intentions or their feelings. Instead, they will show up consistently and communicate clearly. They will make you feel wanted, respected, and valued, not as a convenience, but as a priority. They'll celebrate your strengths, support your dreams, and stand by you through challenges. Healthy relationships are built on reciprocity. The right people know that both individuals need to contribute equally for a connection to thrive. They won't let you shoulder the weight of the relationship while they remain passive. Instead, they will actively invest their time, energy, and emotions into nurturing the bond. This mutual effort creates a dynamic where you both feel valued and supported. The right people won't leave you in a cloud of confusion, wondering where you stand. They understand the importance of honest communication and will ensure that their words and actions align. If they care about you, they will let you know. If something needs to be addressed, they'll discuss it openly. Their clarity eliminates the need for you to chase after answers or validation. The right people value your time and energy as much as they value their own. They won't waste your efforts by being inconsistent or unresponsive. Instead, they'll respect the boundaries you set and appreciate the energy you bring to the relationship. This respect fosters a sense of security, allowing the relationship to grow without unnecessary strain. When people share your core values, the relationship flows naturally. There's no need for constant explanations or persuasion. The right people align with your principles, whether it's about kindness, integrity, ambition, or love. This alignment creates a foundation of understanding and trust, eliminating the need for you to chase after compatibility. The right people don't play mind games or test your loyalty by making you chase them. They are emotionally secure and mature enough to recognize a good relationship when they see one. Their confidence in themselves allows them to connect with you authentically without needing to exert power or control over the dynamic. When you stop chasing the wrong people, you create space for the right people to enter your life. You free yourself from the exhausting cycle of seeking validation and instead focus on building connections that are fulfilling and genuine. The right people will meet you halfway, not because they have to, but because they want to. Chasing is often a sign that something is out of balance. It's a red flag that the relationship may not be rooted in mutual respect or shared effort. When someone makes you chase, they're signaling that their comfort matters more than your peace. The right people, on the other hand, will prioritize the connection enough to ensure you never feel like you're running after them. Remember, the right people recognize your value effortlessly. They won't require you to shrink yourself or overextend to gain their attention. Instead, they'll appreciate you for who you are, not for what you can do to win them over. These are the people who make life richer, brighter, and more meaningful, not because they complete you, but because they complement you. So let go of the need to chase. Trust that the right people will find you, stay with you, and grow with you without any need for you to prove your worth. When you prioritize your own peace and authenticity, you attract relationships that reflect those qualities. The right people will meet you with open arms, not a finish line for you to cross. When people ignore you, the instinct to chase after them can feel overwhelming. But chasing diminishes your self-worth, distorts your energy, and distracts you from what truly matters. Healthy relationships are built on mutual effort and respect, not on one-sided pursuit. Silence in these moments can be a powerful form of communication and acknowledgement that you value your peace over unnecessary conflict. Instead of chasing, redirect your energy towards self-growth. Invest in yourself, set clear boundaries, and focus on creating a life filled with purpose and joy. When you prioritize your own well-being, you naturally attract people who align with your values and appreciate your worth. And remember, the right people will never make you chase. They'll meet you with the same energy and intention you bring. They'll see you, respect you, and stand with you not because you begged for their attention, but because they recognize your value. So let go of the need to run after those who turn away. In the space left behind, you'll discover your strength, your worth, and the relationships that truly deserve your energy.